See if this
Good
thing
morning.
works.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, Your Honor?
Uh,
That sound like me then. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
I'll get back to you on that.
Well,
Good
no,
morning, Roy.
Good morning. How are y'all today?
Hey, Roy, good. How are you?
Good,
I'm not-
Doug. Appreciate.
I'm not saying, Roy.
Well, hey, Holly. I mean, I have had the COVID. I have been sick for 3 weeks.
Oh,
My mom had to go to the hospital, and we found out she had it when we were taking her back to her assisted living. And it's 2 days before Christmas, so we had to call off Christmas. I mean, it hit me kind of hard, and I mean, it's hard. I say hard. It just, fever, chills, coughing. I'm still coughing, so I might have to mute. But
okay.
I mean, it really grabbed me and
Oh.
wouldn't let me go for a while. Hey, Gordon.
Good morning, Doug. Morning,
I am
Holly.
Good
It's
morning. I'm so
been,
sorry.
Well,
Doug.
thanks. It's luckily I work for myself and work at home,
Yeah.
and but it's been not any fun, that's for sure.
No, but thank goodness you made it through and you're okay almost.
That's the almost right there. I'm not sick of coughing and but 2 weeks ago I would cough for 10 minutes and couldn't stop. I mean, it was just in my chest and it just would not really let me go. I finally had to go to the ER and let them give me some medicines because my doctor wouldn't give me anything. So yeah, we still have Christmas gifts sitting on the dining room table, and so it's going to be a mess. But hey, we're glad.
Is that where my Christmas gift is, Doug?
Yeah. Everybody, I know Bill down there. He keeps looking at me like, Doug, where's my gift? I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm
That's the
sick,
way
Bill."
he is, Doug. That's the way he is.
I can tell that about Bill just looking at him. Curtains behind him there. Well, I hope everybody had a great holiday and start of the new year, and it's been fun because both my parents are still alive. Both of them are in assisted living or nursing homes, and so I am half the day I spend filling out paperwork here for Medicare and all kind of stuff, and I
Well,
hate it.
has your mother recovered from COVID?
Yeah, I think she's getting worse. Now they've had to put her in memory care.
Oh.
And so she has a temper. She's fixed to turn 90 and she's got a nice little sweet little temper. And they called me yesterday. This is what I get. They called me yesterday and I see it on my phone. I'm like, uh-oh, what's wrong? Well, you worry about what's could really be wrong, but well, we would like to have her do a behavior, person come in, and I'm like, well, good luck. So, and my dad's just out of it. He's got his dementia's just really gone down, and so it's kind of sad to have both of them doing this at the same time.
Yeah, I am so sorry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't mean to.
Well, both my sons say that they know that they will have to find a special nursing home for me that will have, restraints.
Uh-oh.
And they said they found one. It's called Broken Shackles is the name of the nursing home.
Yeah, we were going to talk to you about that tomorrow.
Hey there, Bob. How are you this morning?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
Bob's in the same shape as you, Doug.
I kind of figured that. I didn't really know, but yeah, I could kind of tell based on a couple of emails and stuff. So I hope you're feeling better, Bob. I was just telling everybody I've had this for 3 weeks.
What, the COVID thing?
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
No.
I'm only propped up in the chair here, so it's if I fall over, You'll know what's going on.
Bob is out for lunch. Got it.
That's right. Okay, it's 10:00. Is everybody here? Well, it's 10 o'clock, so we're gonna start anyway.
Yeah.
Well, good to see everybody. Happy New Year. Hope you all had great holidays. For those of you that didn't know, yeah, I had a bout with COVID that led to pneumonia, that led to 6 days in the hospital. And then
Wow.
I'm actually was doing okay. And a week ago, it'll be a week tomorrow, the day it snowed up here, I made the stupid decision to go ahead and try to get to my doctor's appointment. Went down West Sugar Bush, lost control of the truck, and about the only thing I could do was hit a tree head on.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
June is fine outside of pretty bad bruising. I got pretty badly bruised ribs and my back isn't doing so great. And
Poor thing.
the only thing it could have hit without hurting me was my head, but my head seems to be what it was.
Big
So,
old crane up there, buddy. You didn't hurt
sorry?
that head. Huh?
say again?
I said that big old crane you got up there, it didn't hurt that big old head of yours.
Yeah, that big old melon I got, it was
Yeah.
okay. So spent the day in the hospital, found out nothing was broken. But I'm actually worse off getting around than when I had the pneumonia and the COVID. So I'm using a cane to totter around the house. So I'm alive. I still, thank God I woke up on the right side of the grass again today. So I'll do the best I can to get this going. I didn't want to delay this because, you know, you delay us and then we're delayed another month and so on and so forth. So if you hear me breathing funny, it's because I'm breathing funny. You know, it's like an old windbag heaving in and out. Okay, well, the first thing we got to do is always is approve the minutes. So hopefully you had a chance to read them. I'm not going to go through them for time's sake. So does anybody want to move to accept the minutes from November?
So moved.
Okay. Second,
Second,
second, all in favor?
aye.
Nays? Any nays?
Bob, can I interrupt and ask where Harry is? Because he's outside by a pool and some trees.
Oh, Harry, where are you?
Kind of Florida, buddy.
I'm a little south of you guys.
I hope you're down there marketing Sky Valley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The weather's great up here.
yeah.
all right.
Weather's pretty good. Weather's pretty good here in Naples.
Oh dear, listen to that. In Naples.
Okay, do we know who iPhone 7 is who's muted? Do we know who that is?
No,
No, okay. All right.
there's
All
no
right,
name
let's
with it.
see. Huh?
There's no name with it.
Oh,
No.
okay. Obviously, they don't want to identify themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Jamie, I did get a copy of the POS Realty ad. It looks great. Thanks for taking care of that. For those of you that recall, we put an ad in POS Realty in End of Year magazine, and it came out great. And it's a really, actually, it's a nice magazine. So thanks for doing that. Okay, Doug, give us your, I know you sent a little paper to us. So
Yeah.
give us the lowdown of December if you
Well,
would.
thank you. I first off want to say how much I have enjoyed looking at the cam, watching it snow those couple of days, because I would figure out it's snowing up in North Georgia. So I came down here and got out on the computer, and I love watching it snow. So that was so cool those couple of days to see how the cam was working, and so that was fantastic. And I think that was a great move for us for moving forward. But just briefly, a lot of different little things we're working on here. We have a nice partnership with Ohio Golf Journal magazine, and he's been here to Georgia we're going to try to get him back down here in later this year. But we've come up with an agreement that he is going to promote Georgia, and anything I want to be able to promote, which we will certainly put in Sky Valley. And so the link that, or article that we had done before, the top dining destinations, where we promoted the Dillard House and also Sky Valley with that. So that's up in his, he put that out for us. So that's nice. We get a lot of people over the years. We certainly, take notes and figure out who's coming where based on our marketing for Georgia. And Ohio is just a huge market for us. And so and he does different things. So it's not just a magazine. He has a radio show and a TV show and some other things. So this is a nice partnership, and hopefully we're going to be able to do more together. We're talking about what else we can do. As I told you, we're going to be hitting Florida hard this year. So Ari, you just stay down there and be my salesperson for us down there. Okay. Naples would be a great area to get people to move, come back up for that second home when it gets hot down there in the summer times. But we're working with another publication out there called Gulf Coast Magazine. Great area there on the coast there, Tampa, St. Pete, and Southwest Florida, which reaches all the way down to Naples. And so we're going to be doing nothing but real estate and getting people interested in Sky Valley. Now, here's some of the things that I wrote in my thing under number 2 there, if you have it, and I'll just read them off anyway. That things that we need to be thinking about, the stay and play packages, again, for sure. We've got to come up with a program for that. We need to come up with a discovery package for potential buyers. So, hey, this is Sky Valley, and you can go on our website and see the beautiful golf course and grounds and whatever with the cam, but what else is there to do? So we need to come up with some kind of a discovery package for potential buyers that we can promote. And this group of people there in Southwest Florida will help us do this. And the idea of that is, okay, here you go. We come up with a house or condo, and they put in the money. We don't buy it for them. So if they want to come up, but here you go. You can stay in this 4-bedroom house. You can stay in this 2-bedroom condo. Here's what you can do. Here's the potential. While we'd like to have you up here, here's the cost for that. You get to be able to do that, and you might throw in a round of golf, that type stuff. But different things that the Best of Georgia Travel Awards. Have been a winner 2 years in a row. The new croquet club that you were the year before. That's big. Weather again. We're just starting to stamp the weather in the highest city, highest and coolest in Georgia, and any kind of dining, i.e. around the area, like we did with the Dillard House, and certainly going up to Highlands. But we're going to be in their newsletters coming this spring, and also email blasts going out to about 100,000 people. So this is just another connection that I've had with them for years that I've reached out to. Also, a part of this is I have a golf ride. I actually have 2 down in Florida that are going to be helping us with certainly real estate. And so I've asked them to come up with people that they know that can help us do nothing but promote Sky Valley from central and southern Florida, and how we can get them back up here to see what we have going on there. So so that's a nice connection there. We're working with a couple other ones, but this one's pretty much done, and I just have to work out the details with them. The 2020 Georgia Golf Trail Travel Awards winner, you guys won again, the best par 3 in Georgia. So that's fantastic. We're fixing to promote that. It closed the 1st of December. We put all the numbers together in December. And then we promote it to everybody starting in January. We got a big article coming out in a big magazine that will announce all the winners. So again, this is cool, and we'll be able to give you guys another nice plaque there we can put in the golf course pro shop there, announcing that. So that's kind of cool. Working on, again, this is kind of skip ahead, but the media writing in Florida to get articles, newsletters written on real estate in Sky Valley. Working on another media trip from this spring with new writers that can hopefully come work out and stay a couple of days and see Sky Valley. That's the best way to do things. Like a couple of you've met Dave Dalbert, who was up there. Also the couple that was there back in October. They're still working on things that promoting Sky Valley. And so we're excited about putting together, because it's just better when we actually have somebody in person. And again, we will probably start something around springtime. We always try to, last year was such a joke, but with the Masters, we want people, if they're going to look at Georgia, we want to hit that area. If they're looking at Georgia and Augusta, and we want to make sure they know what else is going on around the state, and certainly Sky Valley would be a part of that. We are having a big promotion that we're going to be working with a national radio show that has over 300 stations to promote the trail. And so we're going to be able to do some extra things with Sky Valley again, because you guys have hired me as a consultant. We promote Georgia, we promote the trail, but then because, you guys are my client, then we're apt to, put in more things for Sky Valley. So, and then certainly do things nothing but for Sky Valley. So, last thing I know we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes, Steve Denberg's proposal for the photos and drone stuff. This is a wonderful deal. He certainly, as I mentioned, he's been up there now 4 days. He hasn't charged us one penny to do anything. And he is very, very excited about the possibility of getting this. And he knows it's a hard year. Okay. And that's what we're looking at. Getting up there, and he even wrote me the other day, he said, "Hey, it's snowing in Sky Valley, hey, we need to get going." And I'm like, hey, so he's looking at the website. So that was good. You got to remember also that these photographs and drones, as I know we talked about, are going to be Sky Valley's. These are pictures that you can use for years. These will be, like I said, 4 seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, that will come up. He will shoot, different times. So it's a lot of work. I will be with him each time he is up there. So we'll coordinate that. And if he has to stay over, then we'll work something out. But I know, based on who he is, I know other photographers, this is a good deal. It's certainly an investment. Okay, this is not something you're just buying for January 2021. This is something that will, like I said, be for years. And I think it's something we certainly need, and can be excited about. And when people ask you, hey, for that magazine, we need a new picture, we need a new video to put on this or whatever, you can go right to your library and pull it up. So got a lot of things going for 2021. I'm excited about the springtime coming up, and this is a lot of leg work right now, certainly during the winter time, but we've got some other things that I'll be reporting on in February, and looking forward to it, but excited where we are these few months that we've been working on this. And I think we've made a lot of progress, and we are also part of our scenario that we're going to be doing again is we've got some things that are going to be doing nothing but promoting the weather and promoting the cam. So we want to push that in everything we do. So we're excited. So there you go.
Okay, good job. Thank you.
I
Okay,
just have Bob, could I have just a quick
No, I was
question?
gonna say, does anybody have any questions or comments for Doug?
Yes,
Sorry, I
I do.
have to cough now.
Yes, just a quick, again, how do we use those videos as you foresee it? You know, there's quite a bit of expenditure here, the next subject. How do you see using them in terms of things that are coming up in the future, videos and of course, the photos? Where do you see the use of these?
Well, the videos, Gordon, are just something that it's going to be things that you might not even know about. But we work now, there's so much of, online, social media where we can put up a video, on Twitter and Instagram and use these on. So once we get these and we figure out exactly which ones we want to use, and we certainly can change them, then we can have a social media program that certainly is great if you see a picture in beautiful Sky Valley with snow on it or whatever. But if you have a 15, 30-second, video that's embedded in these type things, these are things that people are going to get noticed. I know when I get stuff, I certainly click it on. Hopefully I watch it if it doesn't get my interest. But these are things that are just going to be out there. I.e. the Ohio golf guy, he's got things that he can use that I don't know about. He's got his own social media, he has his own newsletters. Every newsletter and things that we do now will have a link once we get the videos where people can, we can click right into it and let people see these videos. Pictures are just photos are just something that we just need to continue to get updated. We're not just going to be shooting the beautiful golf course, but we're going to be doing homes. Steve and I've talked about it. We need to be have a couple of homes that would be staged. We'll have a couple of homes that would be at nighttime, where the lights are on outside and people can see. And so there's a lot of things that, have to do with not only selling Sky Valley, but selling real estate. Let's get some more people up there. Let's figure out how we get more golfers up there, members, all those type things.
Anyone else?
I think it would be great on our website too.
No, yes, absolutely. We would love, and we probably could even do this, that we could probably shoot, Holly, with Steve's drones.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take that much, that we could do each of the 18 holes where you take off and go across, and it just kind of, where you could say, hey, this is number one, and here goes the drone. And it starts out over the tee box and takes off over to the, then it goes to number two. And, you're just talking about a few seconds. So you're not talking like we're going to sit there for 3 minutes over.
I think it'd be great if he could also use the drone just throughout the whole valley. I think that'd be
Absolutely.
great for real estate and our park and all that other good amenities that we have. That would be great.
Yeah, I was on the some of the homes a couple of days ago, just looking at different things. And I go through all the pictures of the homes, certainly the inside, but certainly the ones on the outside.
Yeah.
So we would definitely want ones that we could look and see the beautiful valley. I know some of your homes you have view, some you don't. But the more we can see, the more we can show that people can look down through the valley from somebody's home, the better.
I want to just echo,
Go
I want
ahead.
to echo the praise for all the hard work that Gordon and the folks did on that webcam. That's one of the best webcams I've seen anywhere online, and well worth it. That was a genius deal. Are there any feedback on that Freedom of Information request on the information on that? Has that all gone away?
Uh, It seems that we've had quiet since we sent them what they needed, because Gordon had done a great job, and I think when we presented it to the city council with the documentation, and we proved that we took the right steps and did what we needed to do. So I'm assuming that no news is good news, Harry, at this point. For those of you that don't know what Harry's referring to is, according to law, pretty much anybody can make a request for records. It's called an open records request. And the request basically is for any documentation. I mean, it can cover emails, handwritten notes, contracts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a couple of citizens that are using this for almost every single thing we've done. As a matter of fact, there was one since the webcam, which was for our hiring of Doug. And that's just kind of been, I think that's been satisfied, because it's got to be, Karen, fortunately, thanks to her, has been handling the documentation, but any one of us that has anything we have to send in. So again, to answer Harry's question, I think it's put away. What the citizens can do is they can then decide to sue the city if they didn't feel like, according to rules, regs, policies, procedures, that it was done properly, and so on and so forth. And again, some of the citizens are somewhat unaware, because when we set up this committee, because it's a committee that's not just a city committee, it's city and club and POA and so on and so forth, that with our attorney's approval, we're able to run a little bit different than like a city council would have to do, and they just don't get that. So anyway, we have some people, and it seems to be the same people, that are just trying to, yeah, they're exercising their constitutional rights, but I think it's beyond just, oh, I have a question about this. I think, and this is just my opinion, and they can sue me for this if they want to, I think they're just trying to be a thorn in the side of what we're trying to do, and are looking for things to make mountains out of molehills. And fortunately, so far, we haven't had any molehills that they can make mountains out of. So I guess we can discuss that if needed.
Yep. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay. With regard to the webcam, I think the webcam has been awesome, and I've seen some great comments in Facebook and so on and so forth about how great it is. And being that the city of Sky Valley, is now part of the Chamber of Commerce and Forward Raven, Holly's asked me to take a seat on the marketing committee for Raven County. And I attended my first meeting with them last week. And there's a group of people from there, and they've been working together for quite a while. And I brought up the webcam, and they just thought that was the greatest thing ever. So that's something that we can bring to Raven Chamber of Commerce and Forward Raven, because they have contacts. As a matter of fact, there was a little video that was done by WSB TV for Raven County back not a long time ago. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that we could possibly use some of our webcam. And if we do decide to go ahead with drone footage, it would be a good outlet for it. I also discussed with them through, if they have contacts, which they do with WSB, who their contacts may know within WSB, that possibly we could get onto the weather forecasting that we had talked a little bit about a while ago. And that's so, when it's 100 degrees in Atlanta, they could say, well, right up here at, Sky Valley and Rabun County, it's 72 degrees. So they were willing to, see if we could put some contacts together and make that happen, or if it could happen, and if there would be expense involved. So I think that's a good connection, and I'll be attending their meetings once a month and try to bring something positive to us and positive for them. All right, why don't we talk about Steve and the proposal he put together. Hopefully you did read it. Did any of you at this point have, we won't be making a decision on it today, but I'd like to start the discussions of it. Does anybody have comments or questions or anything about it that we can pose to either Doug or Steve?
I just have a couple of observations, Bob.
Okay, Bill.
One, where applicable, I would think we'd want to see some success metrics related to those actions, which could be the number of clicks, the number of click-throughs. It could be some sort of call to action that we include in that marketing, et cetera. There's a ton of different ways. Just want to kind of get a measurement on, some of the success, how many views these things got, et cetera, et cetera.
And this is, if we go ahead and do it, this would be after the fact follow-up, or, because I'm not sure that he would have the ability to do that for anything for us in advance.
I'll let you guys figure out how you might want to do that, but it could be after the follow-up. It could be a request for information. There's a number of ways, especially in
Okay.
print ads, et cetera, that we can do some of that
Okay,
stuff. And the
Well,
online.
Bill, you seem to have a good handle on that, and you are one of the guys. So we'll include you in whatever discussions or decisions need to be made.
Okay.
That because yes, the big thing in marketing is analytics and so on. And unfortunately, I think sometimes social media and technology is advanced beyond what some of marketing efforts are able to track. So let's figure out what will work, because we
Okay.
can say, what have we got? But then we're like, well, what are they capable of doing? And then how does that relate to success?
Well,
How do we
yeah.
measure that by success? So
That's
I
right.
agree with it. I agree with it in principle, but we have to decide what's doable and acceptable.
Right, and I understand, and I mean, really, as you said, those analytics are important, because if we get if we can see some really good responses from one and some lackluster on another, then that just tells us where we should be shifting our focus and funding.
Exactly, where we could spend our money.
The second piece is, for 2021, it would be great to see kind of a comprehensive plan. And what I mean by that is, here's a list of all of the actions that we know we want to do, and here are some other ones that we want to consider, and some associated costs with all of those.
Right.
Because part of the thing we have to do as a council, because we contribute some money to this, we still need to have a vote with the council. And for us to be able to do that effectively, we need to kind of see the whole thing holistically in terms of cost.
Right. Any other comments, questions? All right, one of my comments personally is, I love what Steve did, how he presented it. I'm sure he's going to do some quality work. The thing that we have to consider, tying into what Bill's comments just recently were, come up with a plan and how much is it going to cost and so on and so forth. The quoted cost for Steve's product is $16,000. Now, when you consider that or for 2020, our total budget that was contributed by our organizations was $15,000 by the POA. Thank you very much, Ed. I bow. I'm not worthy. Thank you so much. The club, I believe, was 2,400, in addition, they put in a lot of contributions in kind with food and golf and so on and so forth. That's not included in the actual dollar amount. And the city was 4,000. So when you put that all together, that's 19, 20, a little over 20 grand. Money is what makes our world go around. So initially, if we go with the same kind of a number, let's say approximately 20 grand for 2021, I just don't see spending $16,000 of it for photographs. Now, I'm not saying that we couldn't. That's not my, decision to make. But we have some consideration. Some things are, hey, we'd like to do this, but what are we able to do? So for the time being, I'm recommending that we table the decision on the photos and the drones because we're going right into the next point of our agenda, which is the contributions, because as of right now, we have, again, approximately $5,000 in the marketing account. So we have a little bit of carryover. I don't have the exact amount yet because with no city manager, we've got to get more recent and updated and current financial statements. You know that the city is doing all they can in the circumstances, and our city clerk has been amazing in handling what she's handled in the interim. So we've been discussing contributions since September, and I did send, again, most recently, a request that we do need to decide what we're going to have, because it's next to impossible to put a plan together if you don't establish a budget. And companies do that by saying, here's a lump sum, or here's a percentage of sales, or our budget's going to be set up based on, and my mind is a little fuzzy right now, so I may not come up with the exact terminology, but here's what we're going to do, here's what it's going to cost, and we're going to spend that amount of money. And we're not in that particular, we have, well, here's what we have to spend, and then based on what's going to be most effective for us, that's what we spend. So my next question would be, again, thank you to the POA, which stepped up several months ago and confirmed it with their recent budget that they're contributing another 15 grand for 2021. And do we know from our city representatives and our club representatives, what have you committed to?
I have unmuted Roy so he can answer that for the club.
Okay.
Like previous years, we've set aside $7,000. Now, 5,000 of that we'll give to the committee, and we were going to take 2,000 and we'll purchase directly a membership on the Georgia Golf Trail. We just think it looks better. Y'all don't have to answer why the committee's spending money to benefit the club. And likewise, we don't have to, why is the city helping y'all? And keep it a little bit cleaner.
Okay.
And obviously, we'll still be offering, complimentary golf and some meals to people that the committee identifies as being able to help with the marketing effort.
Oh, okay. All right. So what you're saying is you're going to be able to contribute $5,000 to our account, and then you're going to do things directly with Doug and other folks for the club.
Correct.
All right. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Having a hard number was going to make our little train go up the hill. City reps, have you been able to come up with a number?
Right now, we have a financial contractor that's working on reconciling our books. As soon as we get that finalized, Bob, we will be able to come up with a number. We will continue to pay the monthly costs on the billboard on the corner of 246 and 441, which is $350 a month. Also, we will pay for the fireworks and any kind of hopefully fall activities, but I will get you a number as soon as I can. Of course, we'll certainly donate the hotel motel taxes, returns and so forth.
Okay. Do you have any idea of what the time frame would be for that?
I'm hoping within the next week or so.
Okay, that'd be great. Well, that helps us move a little bit forward, and by the time we have our next meeting, we hopefully will have a hard number of what we're able to spend. Okay. Next would be to review and discuss marketing activities for 2021. Oops. Sorry, I went away there for a second. Back in November, at the city council meeting, I made a presentation which was the accomplishments of our marketing committee, how we were put together, and kind of a document where anybody could look at and see what our progress was and the decisions we made, and then for some plans for 2021. I have that here somewhere. Here we go. And I had sent this out to everybody as well. I sent it in time for earlier this week's city council meeting, and so that the city clerk has it on file and that all of you do too. And I'll refer to this document that I sent out. And it was first listing the marketing budget, which we've been able to fill in some blanks on that right today. And then the first category was items that we basically have already planned and approved, because at our last couple of meetings, we said, what would we like to do, what we would continue to do, what seemed to be having an impact. And those things were to re-engage and continue Doug's contract with Georgia Golf Life and Golf Trail. And that is $750 a month. To continue our membership in the Chamber of Commerce, which is $122.50 per year, which gives Holly, our mayor, a seat on their board and obviously a seat now on the marketing committee. We all felt that Mid-South Golf event in August was a great thing and was very successful, that we would continue to sponsor that with the cost of the appetizer hour. Whoever needs to be muted, could you do that, please? Because we're hearing background noise. Thank you. Also, that we all felt very good about the Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours event in November, where we hosted it with the graciousness of the country club. And we had approximately 40 people attend, and the chamber felt very good about it and would love to have us do it again. And I think I'll say Jamie, it may not have been Jamie, but recommended we do it another time, meaning twice in 2021, maybe earlier in the year and then later in the year. And that seemed to be something we all thought was a good idea. That we had run 2 half-page ads in Mountain Traveler magazines, one in the early edition called Spring Summer, and then in the Fall Winter edition. And in addition to the print, which is 30,000 copies in 200 locations, it's available online and through the 8 newspapers that support that magazine. And it's a reasonable cost of $5.95 each printing. We also ran full-page ads in Mountain Lakes Publishing Vacation Guide, and that's distributed in 700 locations and online as well at $4.50. And it's a pretty inexpensive way to run a full-page ad. We have continued to do place an ad in the Northeast Georgia Mountains Regional Travelers Map for 2021, running $550. we had agreed to, it has not come out yet, but we don't have a deduction on our account yet because the map is basically the 2021 and it hasn't been printed yet. But we've run a little double ad about the size of 2 business cards on the visitor's map to the Blue Ridge Mountains of northern Georgia. And those are 2 maps that people still, and I'm part of the category of target market where I like to have something in my hand when I go driving somewhere. As a matter of fact, some of you maybe have seen the commercial on television for one of the insurance companies where they got an old guy teaching young people how not to be like their parents. And a recent ad was, if you printed out instructions to get here, then you're in the right place. But there's a lot of us out here that need a map in our hands to get to places. So we're going to be in the 2 most popular regional ads so that people know us and can find us. And when they're looking at a place, because personally, when I decided to look in North Georgia, I had not known anything about Sky Valley, so I went hunting on my own on the internet. So I think that will still be of help. Now, those are things that we've done. Those are the things that we agreed to back in our last several meetings that we should continue to do. And now we can move forward to other ideas. Now, before I move on to the other ideas, are we still good with those pre-planned activities? Did anybody have any problem with those things I just read to you?
Bob, what is the estimated cost of that? You have at this point, what are we committed to dollar-wise?
You broke up a little bit, but are you asking me what the total expenditure is of all those things?
Yes, at this point, yes.
Well, I didn't make it a spreadsheet, so it didn't total it. I did send this to you and put all the costs down, so I won't take the time to pull out the calculator right now, but it looks like 7, 8, 15, 16, 20, 20, 4, 5. It's under $5,000, just me eyeballing it, okay? And I won't take the time to bore everybody with a calculator, but we can do that, and we'll now be able to do that now that we know what we've got to spend. So I could easily say closely that the money we have in the account right now as a carryover should cover all or most of what I just told you. So we're probably pretty close to being clean going into 2021 to spend our new contributions. Now, these were ideas that have come up. Some of them cost and some of them don't, and some of it needs a little bit of research. We did support the Sky to Summit race in 2020 with a banner and with Sky Valley stickers. It was recommended that possibly we could provide hospitality of sorts by fruit, snacks, and drinks after the race for the runners. We would have to decide and discuss and do that. I don't want us to vote on things today per se, but that is something that we should consider, that there were, according to the liaison, there were about 300 to 400 people that come in, run the race, took the stickers, and enjoy coming here. And they tend to be younger people, meaning people that can actually run, a 25 or 50K race over the mountains. So those certainly are people we would love to have come here. The next thing, and this was actually a contact I got from dealing with one of the map companies, is the Georgia Department of Industry and Travel, to see if there's any benefits we could get from them, give to them, and so on and so forth. Not even because it's a state organization, not even sure if there's any expenses, but that's something that may not cost us anything. Then there was the contact the TV station to promote us as the highest and coolest city and maybe get on the map reports, which, as I said, I just discussed this earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, with the Raven marketing. The working on updating the city website to kind of tie into some of the things that even Doug has mentioned. And I brought this up a while ago, to add a things to do places. Now, there is some things that are listed there and some places to stay, but it is not 21st century information that we can attract people to it. And as I mentioned several months ago, Bill Thies has been gracious to us. He owns several, manages several rental properties here, and has worked with us to bring a couple of both the Georgia, excuse me, I'm having a brain cramp. The Golf Riders, and then when we had Steve Dinberg, he's negotiated a special price for us if we need to bring somebody up here. Like if we have Steve come back and come back a few times a year, he's negotiated a special deal for us, meaning the marketing committee. And he has a things to do tab, which is at least something we should be able to do, which when people go places, and you probably have all done it, and I know that I've done it, and when you want to go somewhere, you want to know what are the things to do in and around that area. You know, where do I want to eat? Where do I find, you know, a place for fun? And that's kind of what this tab does. And I think we should be able to put that on a visitors tab, because we just don't want to say, okay, well, it's snowing or it's not, or it's, you know, 70 degrees or it's not. Well, hey, come on up here. As Doug said, maybe we could put something on there about a discovery package and who to contact. And then while you're here in Sky Valley, here are the things to do, and here are the contacts, and so on and so forth. Now, a little bit further down the road, I've had discussions with some of you folks that if and when we ever do have the old visitor center open again, that perhaps we could have it manned or staffed. Manned is the wrong word, I know, in the 21st century, staffed. That maybe that could be a contact to help people that come here, whether to buy or to stay on vacation. A concierge type person who would help, you know, hold their hand when accommodations or activity reservations are made. Now, prior to that, we could have this things to do tab, because maybe many of you in the old days remember you'd go to a hotel and there'd be a book or a folder, and it would tell you, here's the local restaurants, here's the fun things to do, here's the sights to see, and so forth. And then that makes their visit or their stay or their potential move to Sky Valley more, as they now call it, experiential. You know, when we go out to eat, unless we're just going to go, you know, grab a quick hamburger, we like the experience. We like the decor. We like the ambiance. We like the little perks that you get. So that's actually a marketing term of experiential dining. And that's what I think Sky Valley is. It can be an experience for people. So I'd like for us to work with, and if we can work with the current website designer, if that person is somebody, I don't know who that is or how they are to work with. And of course, expense would be an important part of that. But how do we update the city website so it gives an all places and also one-stop shopping, so to speak? You need information about how to do things for the city, get the permit, do all of those governmental issues, but then over here, and we've really worked toward that already with the POA putting the real estate. I think that's been a great thing, because you can go one place and say, okay, here's what's available for sale. Again, I'm having another brain cramp. Oh, down at the bottom had recommended that in addition to those things, real estate, but how about just even making a link to VRBO and Airbnb right on our site. So, hey, here's Sky Valley. Here's that highest and coolest city. here's that website. Oh, look at the webcam. You know, it looks like a wonderful place. Oh, here's things to do. And gosh, here's a place for us to stay. They put it all in one place that I think would make it easier. You want to make it easy for the user to get here, stay here, and make things available to them. So that is something. Now, obviously, getting the website updated would be an expense, and would have to, you know, discuss working with our current or most recent website designer. If any of you have contacts with other website designers, we'd certainly like to hear those, because again, everything we do, we want it to be impressive and inexpensive. That was a term I think that Jamie and I came up with when we were talking about the buffet at the club. And then one of the ways we could possibly support that even more is to sell ads on our site to local businesses. I know I had a contact with the Zipline people a long time ago. And there's lots of businesses that would like to be on our site. And we haven't been able to open that up because we haven't been able to figure out a way to effectively manage that. That could be a way to pay for some of these things. One of the things we haven't done yet, excuse me, is to investigate and post any of the lots that the city currently owns and that could be made available for sale. That would just, you know, instead of having dead real estate laying around, we could possibly use that to fund some of our activities or even just the city's budget. We had the idea of producing a promotional video for broadcast, and Holly was good enough with one of her contacts to provide us with ideas and 3 different packages, so to speak. And at the time, the most inexpensive package was around a little over $11,000, all the way up to $19,000. And again, we would need to figure out, could we, should we, would we? So we've tabled that discussion. Hopefully you still have that information. If not, I still do. That is something we need to, again, this whole list is research, discuss, and approve or pass on any of these ideas. Then, of course, we talked about hosting events that would bring people here, maybe spend a little money while they're here, which wouldn't benefit most of us. So, you know, they come and spend a little bit of money. It doesn't really help the city or the POA. Maybe depending on the club might help them a little bit. But if you get people here loving the place, a lot of the comments we had with our survey was, well, I had been here and it was a beautiful place, or I was here for the Fall Fest, or, you know, it wasn't a great number, but it certainly was let people know that we exist. And we had talked about classic car drive-ins, food truck events, a beer fest, hiking groups or running groups for that matter, golf outings, 4th of July events. Someone mentioned movies under the stars, which might actually be a good thing, depending on what happens with COVID, because most movie theaters aren't open and available. And, you know, maybe if you could get out and throw a lawn chair or a blanket on the ground and see a movie and just kind of get out, that may be something that would attract people. The idea that one of the citizens gave us was a splash pad and do more, make more activity type things available at our city park. And a splash pad would probably be a little more on the expensive side, something where kids could come in and be in a fountain, or, you know, obviously that would just be in the summer areas. So again, these were all just ideas that came up, were briefly discussed. We're not in the position to vote on any of these things, but just things that we would research and discuss, price out, and so on and so forth. A couple of other things that came up that I wrote down. Excuse me, I need to take a deep breath. With regards to Steve Dinberg, if we cannot do the 16,000 ideas, is it possible, Doug, and maybe you could ask him, kind of back channels, is it possible that he would have a less expensive package? Because looking at what was just estimated that could be given to us, we're still in the between $25,000 and $30,000 amount versus last year's 20 some odd thousand, and 16,000 of that is a major chunk. And could we buy the sample video that he showed us? Could he rework his numbers? Because and that when with the meetings we had with him, I tried to stress impressive and inexpensive, and he may not understand that, but 16,000 for us is a.
He does. Trust me, we've talked about it, and he understands, certainly, because I work for you guys. I just knew that this was probably, instead of going out and getting 4 or 5 and just going through all this, that I had been doing this for years and knew Steve. So we did talk about a possibility of a lesser program. Certainly, he can do it. It's just in terms of exactly what we want. I mean, he can do what he did. I mean, in terms of getting some beautiful pictures and footage and photos and whatever. But the deal was the more of contemplating doing the 4 seasons and coming up with a picture. So understanding, and we all know it's all about money, and if you don't have the money, you can't pay the meter maid. So totally understand. So we have talked about this, and so I can respond back to him, let him know where we are, see what he can do. It would be great to be able to have the 4 seasons, but also we just need to take a baby step before we take a giant leap. And so maybe there's something that we can do that would be for 2 or 3 years,
Right.
And we get something started, and I can tell him where we'd like to put this information out there. So this is the best thing for us to do. So let me do that. Let me talk to him and see what would be the best option, and we get back to you. I can certainly get back to you before the next meeting, but
Whatever sharpening of his pencil we can do would certainly help him, help us, help him back.
understand.
Doug,
One of the things that came up I'm sorry, go ahead.
Doug, regarding Steve Cumming, I think the videos and the photos are important for us to help sharpen our message. And spring is the next season that's coming up, and spring is gorgeous here. When we've got the flowering bushes and the trees, maybe a quarter of that package we could take care of spring right away. Work towards doing something else in the fall, or if not fall, then pick the next most important. We got plenty of fall pictures.
And good point, Jim.
But summer is a great party time,
because we want to show everything, like the not only real estate, but what's parties going on there, weddings that are going on there, just all kind of things that people need to see in order to drive business to Sky Valley in different ways, not just 1 or 2 avenues.
Right.
Yeah, we've got a golf course, but we've got the great mountains. Maybe he could run the video off the top of the waterfall, and I suspect there's some very dramatic things that he could do there right off the bat that would lend quite a bit of excitement.
I agree, Jim.
I think maybe we could ask him just to do, maybe just do a video on spring and summer this year, and then maybe next year add the winter and fall or whatever. Yeah, I agree.
I think we can certainly do something like that, Your Honor.
Well, we obviously like what he did. We'd like to use it if we can. However, we can, I'll say, strip it down a little bit, sharpen his financial pencil, and then go forward.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll get
one
back
of the
to
things, are we done with that discussion? Okay, one of the things that came up at the November meeting, we had a couple of citizens attend, and they really suggested that we talk about the school system, particularly the high schools, not only the Rabun County public school system, which apparently is great, but also the private schools, because again, if we want to have some younger folks moving up here that have families, they want to know, obviously, I think we've all owned homes when we've had kids, those of us that have had them, and you want to put your kid in the best possible situation you can scholastically. And she was very complimentary about it. And I was even thinking of bringing her in to maybe be a consultant or something, but to get that information and make that part of our website to give home buyers a reason. Because then again, if you are looking to buy a home and you need to do the research on your own, well, why don't we make it easy for them? That's one of the things I found in business. If you make it easy for your customer, it makes it easy for them to write a check. So
Well, that's
excuse me.
easily solved in that we could probably just put a link to the private school system and to the public school system.
Okay, sounds good. Somebody also made a suggestion, and I don't know that that's possible. I think it was the same person said, our pictures shouldn't have any people or cars in them, I guess, to identify them. And I don't know that that's physically possible because as it is with the webcam, we see cars and people. As a matter of fact, sometimes I look just to see if there's anybody I know who's driving by. But I'm just bringing that up because that was brought up. Okay, now those are all the things that I have jotted down over our past meetings and at the last meeting, and some things that have come up as potential ideas. We're already at 11:03. So my suggestion would be, please, between now and our next meeting, really think about it and come up with any other ideas, or go back to these ideas and as we're starting to do in today's meeting, break them down. And this one might require this, and this one might require that, and we should do this. Now I'm going to throw this back on all of us, in that the marketing committee is us. And we've had several people through the course of the year, many of you, and I'll highlight both Gordon and Jamie, who really grabbed onto something and ran with it, whether it be the webcam or the POS Realty ad or the business after hours. And I've had a habit even in recent years as an educator, if some student said, hey, we really should be doing this, or why don't we do this? I'm like, that's a great idea. You're now vice president in charge of the webcam or the business after hours. So come up with an idea, but come up with and possibly be the solution, or the person who's willing to, go do the research and I'll bring back the ideas, because we're the only ones that are going to make it happen. And we've been able to do, I think, an exemplary job this past 2020, and look forward to continue that. So again, go back through the stuff that we discussed today, some of the stuff I've sent you recently, and come back with ideas, solutions, or say, hey, that's something we really don't think we really need to do. And I will then solidify the budget and some of the expenses, and maybe come up with, maybe Karen and I could work on a spreadsheet which says this is what we have and this is what we might potentially spend. So now we can really look at it like a checking account. Say, okay, we have this amount of money and we've already spent this amount of money, let's deduct that so we know almost on a minute-to-minute basis, as opposed to best guesstimates of what we've spent and what we have left to spend. Hopefully that will make sense to everybody. Can we all work on that and come back ready to talk?
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. If there's nothing else, I think we need to decide when our next meeting will be.
Bob, I just have one thing I'd like to say, and it's quick. I meant to say this at the beginning. I want to pass my condolences on to Jamie because her mother passed recently, and we're all thinking about you, Jamie.
Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that.
So sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob,
Yes, sir.
I had one quick thing too. We didn't give Doug anything very specific on his discussion with Denberg. And I'm thinking just off the top of my pea brain that maybe half of that 16,000 might be a reasonable starting point in that discussion.
Okay, perfect.
That works.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Anybody
sure
else?
Steve, trust me, and that's the reason I keep bringing up how much I like him, and he does a great job and worked for, countless other resorts and PGA Tour and whatever. But he will do a lot for me based on this. And so I think you can see what he's done so far. But like I said, and Harry, we certainly have thought about this. We just wanted to throw this out and start with this way. But even if you went and looked at those other 3 or 4 people, it would be more than the 16,000. But bottom line again is bottom line. And so I will, Bob, I'll get back to you ASAP, and we won't have to wait until the next meeting, and you can send out some information. And
Yeah.
as soon as I get rid of this nice meeting we're having here, I will call Mr. Denberg and relay him our thoughts and see what we can do.
Yeah, the reason why I want to push this forward is Harry's sitting there right at the first tee, and I think he's got an 11:15 tee
Yeah,
time. We want to shut
notice-
this off pretty
If you
quick.
notice, Harry, when you start yawning because you're tired or you're whatever, state outlets, you got to move the camera away so you don't see us you yawning every 15 seconds.
All right,
Yeah.
Doug, make sure that Steve understands we like him. We like what he's done. We're not trying to denigrate anything he's done.
No.
If anything, we want to use him if it is all feasible. Okay, were there any other things that anybody felt the serious need to bring up before we go?
Next
All right,
meeting,
I'm sorry?
next
meeting, okay.
meeting.
Thank you, Gordon. All right, let's look at a calendar. Today's the 14th. Do we want to go a month from now? 4 weeks
Yes.
from now? Yes?
Yes,
Sounds good.
All right, well, that would put us at February 11th. Now, obviously, there's some things we got to do and discuss in between. But maybe by the 11th, we're able to make some decisions. All right, okay, so let's do February 11th, Thursday, 10 a.m. And, okay, does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
We
motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
All right, second,
Second.
any nays? Perfect. All right, it was good to see all you guys down there, and be safe if you can be, and I'm gonna try to be as safe as anybody.
Yeah, you get better too there.
I tell
Yeah.
people, I don't even want to go out of the house, and you don't want to be near me because I'm afraid the Wicked Witch is gonna drop a house on me. All right, we will see you next
Thank
time.
y'all. Appreciate
everybody.
everything.
Bye, everybody.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, take care.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.